Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. We have got another how-to video for you today, and what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking at these Sublimation tea towels. So this is the large one, there is a smaller one as well. Absolutely cracking product these, they print really well. They're also made in the UK, which is nice. On one side you've got a sublimatable surface, and the other side is, I believe, it's Panama cotton, so they are really absorbent, which you don't obviously get if they're 100% polyester. But these print really well. So we're going to look at how you do that today. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a look at what you're going to need. A heat press. So we are going to use the Prima heat presses Auto Plus press for this one. This is a 40x50 press, but any flat press should work just as well. Then you're going to need a printer. So in this video we're using the Epson F100 sublimation printer, so this little A4 sublimation printer. You're going to need some sublimation paper. We're using the Prima paper for this transfer. You're then going to need some ink. So obviously we're using the Epson ink for the F100 printer here. And you're going to need something to measure your blank with so you get your artwork the right size. So I've got a little measuring tape there on top of the printer as well. Now to hold the transfer down, you're also going to want some heat tape. So add that to your list there. You're also going to want to use some baking paper like we've got here, or something like a Teflon sheet or some polyester fabric, just to cover over the blank teddy while they're in the press. This not only protects the fur a little bit from coming into contact with the heating element, but it also protects your press from any back transfer of ink. And your blank. Great, so now we've got all our stuff together, let's get the product on the bench and we'll get it measured up for the print size. Right, so we're going to, we've got the big towel, the larger of the two tea towels here on the bench. So we'll measure this one up. What I'm going to do is, once I've shown you how I would measure this up, we'll get a photograph put up of the large one and the small one side by side, which will show you the dimensions of each. But for this, I'm going to use, again, my trusty tailor's tape measure. And you want to look at the print side as well. So just a quick tip for identifying the print side. It's the smoother white side of the towel. If you flip it over, one side's got more of a natural cotton texture, and that's also the side where the Made in the UK label is. So that's the side that you don't want to be printing on. Okay, so we're going to lay it out. I'm going to be looking at, now when I'm measuring this, you can in theory print edge to edge on these. Obviously if you've got a big enough press and a big enough printer, but they do have a seam around the outside, so you are going to have to be careful with that if you're doing that. If you've got a smaller printer, what we're going to do today is we're going to use an A4 printer. So we're going to look at decorating half of the tea towel with the design. You could obviously then move that onto this side if you wanted to. But, so, what we're going to measure first is the max print area. So, really, I would like to stay inside of these, the hems if you can. So I would say you're looking at 66 centimetres on the long edge. And I would say, just to be safe, 43 centimetres on the short edge for the large one. Right, if Sam, our editor, could be so kind as to put a picture up now, it will show you the dimensions of both of the towels, and we will get some artwork printed for these. Right, let's get the press set up for the tea towel. So put the press on, and we want to go for 185 degrees, and we're going to run that for 60 seconds. So I'm just going to drop that down a bit. Getting your artwork onto the tea towels is really straightforward. So we've got an A4 print there, and all we want that to sit here so that when the towel's hung up, you can see this side of the artwork. Now obviously you could patch in other bits if you've only got an A4 printer, or you could print the whole thing if you've got sort of a wide format printer and that kind of thing. But for this, we're just going to use this A4 design and get it onto the towel. So all I'm going to do is I just want to kind of centre that, like so. Make sure it's nice and straight, and then just so that it doesn't move while we're pressing it, I'll pop a few bits of tape in the corners, and that'll keep it nice and stable while it's under the heat. Right, let's get it over to the press and let's see what we end up with. Alright everybody, so over on the press, what we want to do is I'm just going to put down a bit of baking paper on the bottom just to go underneath the towel. There shouldn't be any bleed through with these, but I like to be doubly sure. And then I want to take the part of the towel that we're going to be pressing, so like that, and pop it in the middle of the platen. Let's make sure it's nice and smooth and it's okay leaving the front edge out like that. And then I'm going to put some baking paper over the top. That's going to both protect the towel from anything that may be on the platen and protect the platen from anything coming back the way. Now for these, you're going to want to go medium to firm on your pressure, so I'm just going to turn this down a little bit. Sorry, turn the pressure up a little bit. Here we go. Yeah, so you want that to be nice and firm, just to hold everything in place. And then when it pops, we want to immediately lift that transfer off the towel. Okay, here we go. So they've got a couple of seconds left to go. I'm just going to let this do its thing. I'm just going to put a bit of weight on there because I don't want it to bounce too much when the pattern releases. And here we go. Guide that up, pull that out of the way, and we're just going to take our dice of print off. There we go. Now we'll get this over to the bench, we can have a proper look at it. And there we go guys, that's how you press the tea towel. So again, same process for this size, the large one, and for the small one as well. Cracking product them, and like I say, the quality is really good, made in Britain, which is always good. Yeah, happy days. So, thanks for watching. If you've got any questions or comments, drop them in the comment section below. We've got loads more how-tos coming on the channel. We've got some other interesting videos and stuff coming as well, so stick around for those. But thanks for watching, and happy sublimating.